All right, so today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be taken in one take, and we're going to talk about opinions. So opinions are probably the most controversial thing you can talk about on the internet today. And I'm going to talk about watch opinions. And to be more specific, we're going to talk about unpopular watch opinions. So if you're not familiar with the whole watch enthusiast community, if you go through the forums or, YouTube comments, people fight about different types of watches that they like or which watch is superior or things like that. But if you keep looking through the forums and keep looking through the comments, you'll find that there's kind of this kind of collective consciousness within the watch community. So basically, there are some absolute truths that watch enthusiasts kind of come to accept. So things that everyone kind of agrees upon. But some of those things I actually don't agree with. And those are the things I want to talk about today. Now, before I start, I do want to say that these are just opinions. So don't get too caught up in them. I'm not trying to insult anyone personally. These are just my preferences. So really keep that in mind. Actually, I spent a few hours just contemplating whether or not I should post this video because, I can picture getting a lot of hate in the comments. So let's try and keep it civil here. Let's just encourage open discussion. And yeah, let's start. We're going to talk about 5 unpopular watch opinions. We're going to start with a pretty mild one with number 5. I actually like the stock strap or the stock bracelet on a watch. So in other words, I like the strap or the bracelet that just comes with the watch by default. Because I feel like, that's kind of how the watch manufacturer or the watch producer, that's how they picture the watch to look like. They specifically chose that strap or bracelet for that watch face. So I feel like, I may as well just wear whatever they designed it to be. Now I have experimented with third-party straps. For example, with my Seiko Presage, I bought a suede leather strap and it usually comes with a bracelet, but in the end, I did feel like the bracelet just fit it better. And not only that, if you buy the default or if you just keep the default strap, it comes with the logo on it. So it definitely pairs with it better. And also keep in mind that third-party straps and bracelets, if you want to find a decent one, it will cost you probably a few $100s. Also keep in mind that you'll have to pay shipping, you might have to pay duty fees, and supply issues can cause problems. I feel like it's just easier if you just keep whatever comes included in the box. I like to think of it as comparing it to like if you buy a PS5 and imagine that you immediately switch out the controller because, the controller doesn't look nice. But, that just adds so much more to the cost, right? So if you buy, for example, a $500 watch, it could cost you, $100 to $200 to change the strap. And you're adding, that's like 20 to 30% more to the total cost of the watch. So for me, I just like keeping it with the stock strap or the stock bracelet. Even though it seems like on watch forums, people really like to swap their straps out for different ones. Definitely gives the watch a different personality, which I can appreciate. But for myself, I just like keeping it with the stock strap. Then moving on to number 4, I don't care too much about warranties. So what I mean is most watches, and not just watches, a lot of things like appliances or cars, technology, they'll come with a manufacturer's warranty. And that basically guarantees that if there's any errors or problems that are caused by the manufacturer, you can send it back and they'll correct it for you. But I don't really care too much about watch warranties. So, if I had to choose between a watch, maybe 2 watches that are identical, one costs $500, one costs $450, and let's say that the watch that costs $450 it doesn't have a warranty anymore, but the one that costs $500 has a 2-year warranty, I'd probably still choose the cheaper one. And the reason why is because in my experience, I've actually never done a warranty claim before, except for cars. But for things like technology, for watches, for appliances, usually I can find out if there's something wrong with it within the first 30 days. If there is a problem with, let's say a microwave, it's usually because I broke it or something that I caused to it. So when it comes to watches, I feel like what's more useful is actually a return policy. Because once you think about it, if you look at a watch or you buy a watch, if there's something wrong with the movement or, it's too fast or it's too slow, if there's, physical damage to it, if there's imperfections to the dial, you can usually pick that up within the first 30 days of owning it. So that's why I think return policies are actually much better than a warranty. And I've definitely used return policies a lot for watches because, I'll buy a watch, but then once I see it in person and I fit it on my wrist, then maybe I won't really like it. And in that case, a warranty doesn't really help me because I'm stuck with the watch anyways. What I seem to see on watch forums though is that people really appreciate when a watch has, a really long warranty, like a 5-year or 10-year warranty. But for me, it doesn't really matter. As long as I have the warranty card, that kind of just adds to the authenticity of the watch, but I probably won't use the warranty claim. If there's any issue with the watch, usually it's because I would have dropped it or something like that. All right, so far, I feel like the opinions I've had, even though they might be on the unpopular side, I don't think that they're that controversial, but these last 2 points are really gonna piss some people off potentially. So with number 2, I don't think G-Shocks look nice. And you gotta pay attention to the wording because I'm not saying that Casio G-Shocks are bad watches. I'm not saying that they aren't good, but I'm just saying that aesthetically, I don't think they're good looking watches, right? Because a lot of them are really bulky. They have a lot of writing on the front. They're pretty busy. They're really big. I think that's fine though, because most G-Shocks, or pretty much all the G-Shocks, are tool watches, right? So they're designed to be sturdy. And, if you think about an OtterBox phone case, they're also designed to be sturdy. And in case of the OtterBox, they are designed to protect your phone. So then that makes them a good phone case. Even though they're really bulky and they're not that pretty looking, it's okay because they do their job well, which is to protect your phone. So if you look at a G-Shock, as long as the G-Shock is sturdy, it's water resistant, dust resistant, it can take a fall, it can take shock, and it can take temperature differences. And if it can still work after all that punishment, then it's a good tool watch. So it's a good watch, and it doesn't really matter how bulky it is. It seems like the watch community, they really like the look of the G-Shocks, and especially the Casio. And if you're not familiar with that term, these are basically G-Shocks with an octagonal case, and it's supposed to resemble the AP Royal Oak. And now, in my opinion, the only resemblance between these two watches is the octagonal case, and almost every other aspect between the two are very different. But regardless, I don't think that these Casio look that nice. They don't look bad, but saying that a Casio looks beautiful is like saying an OtterBox case looks beautiful, and it could be the case for some people, but just not me. And then finally, for number 1, I don't like, or actually I kind of hate Swatch watches. So I honestly think that the majority of them are kind of tacky and they look like they belong as a Happy Meal toy. And the biggest defense I hear online in favor of Swatch is that their watches are supposed to be playful and youthful and fun, but I think there are watches out there that can accomplish that without looking too tacky. So for example, here's a Timex Pac-Man, here's a Seiko Pokemon watch, and a Citizen Disney watch. And if you look at this Swatch Monster Clown, this Swatch Paradons, and this Swatch Hate to Love watch, I think you can really see that the watches on the bottom, to me at least, they look like they're either from a tourist kiosk or they're just a kid's toy. I think the reason why Swatch doesn't get as much criticism or hate is because it's a Swiss watch brand, and Swiss watches are usually considered to be superior, so they kind of get a pass. Swatch is actually not that much different from a fashion watch brand like Kate Spade, Michael Kors, Daniel Wellington. You could argue that a lot of the designs of Swatch are like fast fashion. They have a lot of these contemporary, modern, minimalist designs, but they may not hold the test of time. They're not timeless designs. These are more fashionable today designs. In my opinion, Swatch is very similar to a fashion brand, other than the fact that it is a Swiss brand. So that's why I don't like Swatch that much. Now, remember that Ben's Watch Club also got a fair amount of backlash when he criticized Swatch, so I do anticipate I'll probably receive the same as well. I tried my best to try and like them, and I've tried them on before because I do have a local Swatch store, but I just can't get myself to like them. Same with Casio G-Shocks. I have tried on G-Shocks in the past, but they're just too big for my wrist. I'm a little bit too bulky, but I do like normal Casios. I own 2 Casio digital watches, so it's not that I hate Casio in general. So yeah, those are my 5 unpopular watch opinions. Again, it's hard to say whether these are actually unpopular. I'm just doing this based off of what I've read on watch forums and YouTube comments, but I feel like these opinions are unpopular for one reason or another. But let me know in the comments what you think about this list. Let me know if you share the same sentiments or whether you're completely against them. Again, I'm open to having a discussion with you guys. So yeah, that's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys next time.